Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill for Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering the top 5 NBA questions going into the NBA season. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now so you can get all the updates each and every time we have breakdowns here at Sports Choice Plus. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. And without further ado, let's get right into the talk. You're looking at the top 5 questions now that Giannis has signed his Supermax with Milwaukee. That's out the way. And you're looking at now, what are the top 5 questions that most people have right now? So I'm going to start at number 5. When you're looking at the Los Angeles Clippers, what is going to be that team like in year 2? And what I'm looking at is basically a couple of different things. Tyronn Lue is now the head coach. You look at Montrezl Harrell no longer there. I think that was a big part of the team falling apart, is Montrezl was not with Paul George and his behavior. And what I mean by that is missing meetings, showing up late, similar to what Kawhi was doing. Choosing not to practice, choosing when they're going to play in games. That was a big thing because you got to think, for Montrezl Harrell, he basically was drafted into the league to Houston and he earned his keep. That's how he got to LA and he started making some buck. And you look at just the Patrick Beverleys, the Lou Williams, the guys that have been around the league and gotten their money or their bag with the Clippers at this point. They've worked hard every single day. They even fought through injuries in the playoffs and in regular seasons as well. You're looking just at where they are right now. Montrezl is gone, but you still have Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley in that locker room. You got to keep in mind, Patrick Beverley knows that Kawhi Leonard said, hey, I want a different point guard. I don't want that guy as the point guard. He wants an offensive point guard who can get the flow of the game going and not just a defensive guy. But you got to keep in mind, you still have to get Lou Will and Patrick Beverley out that locker room if you want to have any success. I don't think it's anything personal. I just think that they don't respect Paul George. Kawhi may get away with a little bit of that because of Kawhi's resume, with a couple of NBA championships on there, with a couple of MVPs on there. I get it. But when you're looking at Paul George, he does not have the same resume and cannot hold the same command as a Kawhi Leonard if I'm looking at it from the outside looking in. And when you're looking at this makeup, Tyronn Lue is the coach. Yes, he's going to wrinkle out some things, but he cannot build respect for people. If those guys don't respect you in the locker room, and if Patrick Beverley and Lou will feel that way, how many other guys in that locker room quietly feel the same thing or just not saying anything? That's number 5. But I think they're going to have success during the regular season. I think this team is going to go as far as Kawhi drags them. I don't believe in Paul George at this point. I think Paul George is the reason why they lost that series against Denver, because he didn't show up at any of the games when it counted, elimination games. So I think they're going to have a pretty good season, but I could see a similar situation with them going out in the second round this year if they don't get their act together. That's number 5. Coming in at number 4, will CP3 help Devin Booker reach his peak? This is an interesting question that I saw. And when you're looking at CP3, just take a step back. When you're looking at Oklahoma City from last year and what he was able to do when people suspected this team was not even going to make the playoffs, they reached as high as, I believe, 3rd in the playoff rankings before making the playoffs, I believe, in the 4th seed. But you're seeing how that team fought tooth and nail. You look at Shai Alexander, how he developed well. Steven Adams was playing well. Gallinari was playing well. They had a couple of great pieces on that team. Fast forward now, you're looking at what he's doing. And, you know, Monty Williams, his old coach, is now in a position where he can help nurture Devin Booker. And he can help not only get, you know, a fresh start, but you're looking at so many different things that they can help each other with. Chris Paul is going to take the ball out of his hands and make him a better shooter. The reason I say this, Chris Paul is going to command the attention of the defense for the most part. DeAndre Ayton is going to get a big part of this as well because he's open for lobs now. He can now get more things going, moving on screens, almost like Amar'e Stoudemire and Steve Nash did in that pick and roll offense. You know that he's going to get plenty of opportunities to score. And I think that that's just going to help Devin Booker even further. And I think Devin Booker can finally say he has a teammate that's Hall of Fame and that's going to push him physically, mentally, to play defense and offense. And Chris Paul is going to get after him a little bit. I think it's going to inspire him to play better basketball. And I think he's already a star. You saw him the last couple of games in the bubble. He did rise to the occasion, and they were undefeated in the bubble down the stretch. They just missed out on a playoff spot. But it was impressive to see what they did when they got to the actual bubble. So I believe that Chris Paul is going to be a great pickup for the Suns. I think it's going to help Devin Booker, and it's going to help DeAndre Ayton and the rest of these Suns, these young Suns, as they continue to grow. It's a big part of that. So that's number 4. Coming in number 3, how will Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal team up together? This is very interesting, and I say it's interesting because both these guys are in a prove-it year. I know Russ has his money right now, and Bradley Beal's in the last year of his deal, but you're looking at, can these guys put up career years, and can they play off of each other? It's not a KD Russell Westbrook situation because Bradley Beal's not KD. You can't teach 6'10", 7 foot, and just the shooting prowess, just the ability to pull the defense away. Bradley Beal's not that guy. But Bradley Beal is still a pretty good all-star. Bradley Beal is still a baller. Even with John Wall out the last couple of years, he has averaged up to 30 points. You see what he did. He was snubbed off a couple of the lists as far as all-star teams and things like that. But when you're looking at this guy, he's an amazing talent. Bradley Beal is one of the top 20 players in the NBA. He shows up. The last couple of years, he's helped develop a couple of these players on this roster, and I think it's going to bode well for him. You got to think it's enough balls to go around for them to each get their fair share, their lion's share of the shots. When you're looking at Russ, he's going to try to get people assists. He's going to try to get his points too, but he's going to also try to pass the basketball. That bodes well if Bradley Beal can catch and shoot. And I think that's going to be a major part to this team. They're in the East, not the West. That's another benefit, that they're going to be able to play a lot of teams that are not on the West, that literally are not fighting for playoff spots. When you're playing teams like Charlotte, when you're playing teams like Orlando, you're playing teams that are not top heavy, that bodes well for you. And I think that's pretty good for them. When it's all said and done, I think it's going to be a big part of their team growing forward. I think Russ is going to be a big brother to him, and I think that he's going to help him, blossom his game just a little bit. But I think Bradley Beal is going to benefit from Russell Westbrook being there, and I like the tandem. I like the tandem in the East, not in the West. Fourth, for all intents and purposes, that's what I just like from that. Coming in at number 2. It says, basically, will Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons capitalize on this refresh? And you're looking at everything that's going on in Philly. Daryl Morey came over. He's now the GM. You're looking at Doc Rivers as a new head coach. It's so many different things that's going on in Philly, and they're trying to mix and match and make this team better. They got rid of Al Horford. They got rid of Richardson. It's so many different things that this team is doing, and now they're trying to add shooters around these guys. They want to make it easier for both these guys. Ben Simmons is going to have to learn how to shoot. As good as he is, as talented as he is right now, imagine him 6'10" with a shot, anything close to about 17-footer, everything close to about 20-footer, to where teams can't just leave him open, where they won't just let him float around the three-point line. If he can become a 40% three-point shooter, that's kind of ideal for what he could possibly do. If he can be as talented as he is at 6'10", I know he can do it. It just takes heart, determination, and practice. You better call Steph Curry's people and tell them, hey, this is what I want to do. Because if he doesn't learn how to shoot, you could easily find James Harden in Philadelphia soon. That's what I'm feeling. They're going to end up getting rid of Ben Simmons. But as long as, Simmons is starting to progress in a good fashion, I think they'll keep Joel Embiid no matter what. But they'll build around them. But if they can't get the job done, I think that Ben Simmons is on his way out of Philly. Because you got to think, Doc Rivers is there. Daryl Morey is there, but Daryl Morey is impatient. He wants what he wants right now. He's heavy on analytics, and analytics say James Harden is a better fit than Ben Simmons in this offense. And lastly, can Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving make this thing work in Brooklyn? I'm just going to be straightforward. I don't know if they're mature enough to make this happen, but offensively, it's going to be a show. When you see Kyrie dribbling up the court, when you see him taking up 16, 17 seconds of the shot clock, and then throwing it to somebody to get them to make it work with a shot, that's basically what it's going to be. You got to think, KD, he hated Russ as far as having to catch the ball, and the ball is just stopping and not moving. That's what's going to happen now. That's just basically just being straightforward with you. That's what's going to happen now, KD. You got a more dribble-friendly Russell Westbrook. So when you're looking at the Brooklyn squad, they have a lot of playmakers on the team. They have a lot of support and role players. There was a lot of rumors that possibly Kyrie may be shipped for James Harden. They shot that down as far as the rumors with KD and Kyrie. But when you're looking at this team right now, I don't know if either one of these guys is mature enough to be leaders for the franchise, but they're the face of the franchise. So whatever they get on offense, whatever they get on defense is just a plus. These guys are going to put butts in seats eventually when the people start going back to games. But I think overall, it's going to depend on their maturity level. It's going to depend because you're in the biggest market capital-wise for the mecca of basketball, and that's New York. That's Brooklyn. So at this point, I don't think that they'll ever win a championship together. I think they'll be pretty good in the East. But when you're looking at that, you can get a 1 seed, 2 seed. You still got to fight off the Bucks. You still have to fight off the Sixers with their new improved roster. You still have to look at the Celtics because they're coming. You still have to look at the Miami Heat, the defending Eastern Conference champs. So it's so many different things that you have to look at for that. But I don't think they'll win an NBA championship, but I think it'll be entertaining basketball. So that's my top 5 questions. What do you guys think of my answers? Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comment section. We'll do a video just like that and take your questions out of the comment section. And as always, I want to thank you so very much for definitely checking us out. And if you have any content you want to see, leave it in the comment section. We'll go ahead and make videos for that. Thank you so very much. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're sharing the Facebook group and click the link in the bio so you can debate with us each and every day on YouTube channel and also the Facebook group. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you next time.